Hey everyone, me Kevin here with a stimulus check, stimulus package, and news update for June 22nd. Stick around to the end and I will show you some stocks I'm buying as well. Today is a Monday. Quick reminder, the coupon code down below does expire in 2 days. You know which one I'm referring to. Let's now start with some data points and then let's discuss what Larry Kudlow said this morning, early this morning actually. Let's get right into it. First, on data points, the New York Times, like them or not, reported a study that showed that the CARES Act helped keep poverty down substantially. In fact, so much so that 12 million more people would be in poverty had it not been for the CARES Act. In fact, when we look at poverty rates, here they are by race compared to what they would have been without the CARES Act. Black poverty is 20%, would have been 25%. Hispanic poverty is 20%, would have been 27%. Asian poverty is 15%, would have been 19% without the CARES Act, the stimulus, the $600 a week, right? And white poverty is 9%, and it would have been 11%. That's a fascinating impact directly from the CARES Act, and this should go to show that additional stimulus money, the stimulus checks, the unemployment pay actually helped people who dramatically needed it. Whether or not they were paid a little bit extra than what they would have made at their jobs, which has been such a sticking point in negotiations, who cares? It kept people out of poverty by caring. Caring anyway. Real estate, and then let's talk about what Larry Kudlow said this morning. Inventory is down 18%. We are actually up in pricing, though, because of that inventory decline. The National Association of Realtors released those numbers this morning. We are up to a median home price of $284,000. That's up 2.3%, which is the slowest price increase that we've seen since 2012, but definitely still an increase, which is really shocking. Definitely where we are seeing an increase, and this is not too surprising, we've been talking about this for months on this channel, is that condo sales and multi-unit sales are doing worse and single family is doing better, and this is a direct cause from COVID. All right, moving on, let's now talk about Larry Kudlow. A quick reminder, if you need amazing life insurance, a link down below, and of course, get your 2 free stocks. They're completely free. Just deposit $100 with the stock trading platform Webull, and you will get 2 free stocks. At the end of this video, by the way, I will be showing you myself buying some stocks on Webull. All right, let's move on. Larry Kudlow early this morning gave us updates from the White House. He cited that, yes, there is no doubt that there are hot spots of COVID in areas of the country. Florida, no doubt. Arizona, no doubt. North Carolina, Oklahoma, definitely up. But he mentioned that we are optimistic because 37 states are seeing declining cases. And fatality rates are down. 1-day fatality rates are declining. 7-day fatality rates, that's like the average over 7-day periods, are declining and continue to decline. The FDA's commissioner, Scott Gottlieb, believes this may be due to more younger people getting sick who might be taking less precautions or might be the first people to sort of go out again to restaurants and bars compared to older people who are more likely to stay at home or take more precautions. This makes sense because obviously we know older generations are more at risk. Larry Kudlow did say, and remember he is the director of the National Economic Council and he hangs out in the White House all day long, he did say that wearing cloth face masks, where applicable, is a good idea, which is probably the only consistent message we're getting from the White House on this, and it's coming from an economic advisor. But anyway, on the $2 trillion stimulus package, Larry Kudlow mentioned that he's going into a meeting this morning again on just that. They continue to have meetings, and he put emphasis on highly in the sentence that it is highly likely there will be a chance of another stimulus package, and he cited that it was almost certain, echoing what the Wall Street Journal said this morning, which the Wall Street Journal this morning not only said that obviously the next package is coming and that even Republicans in the Senate are warming up finally to another stimulus package coming, but that same Wall Street Journal article, which the Wall Street Journal has, again, like them or not, when I cite New York Times or Wall Street Journal, we're trying to be as neutral as possible here. The Wall Street Journal has been probably our best source for leaks within the White House. They say something and then it's like, that's what the Wall Street Journal said was going to happen. So I like it when I read them. I read all of them. But anyway, the Wall Street Journal did say that, quote, another round of direct stimulus payments to households was quite possible. And that was referencing the Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, and discussions that he's had, especially with the Wall Street Journal. By the way, in that New York Times study, I do want to point out that they ran a story of an airport worker who's undocumented, and she has a 12-year-old daughter. Her daughter is a citizen and a student. So imagine, a middle schooler or high schooler, 8th, 9th grade, somewhere around there. And the mother limits herself to 2 meals a day because she has so little money to help support her daughter. And that's because the CARES Act excluded these about 11 million undocumented workers from receiving stimulus funds. Now, whether or not your stance on immigration policy is pro-immigration or anti-immigration, whatever, no matter your stance on that, it is sad to see families without enough food. So in case you're wondering why my videos have the non-for-profit fundraiser for no hungry kids or no kids hungry, no hungry children, right? Feeding hungry children. That's why. It's stories like this. Like, again, no matter where you stand on immigration, the CARES Act did cut out a lot of undocumented workers from any kind of benefits. And so those children and families are especially struggling right now. So again, no matter where you stand, that is why I personally donate to that fundraiser and why I run that fundraiser. Now, back to Larry Kudlow. Larry Kudlow did double down on some of his current ideas for the next rounds of stimulus. He did, however, as it has been very typical, not make any mention of essential workers. I find this a little bit frustrating. It seems like the essential workers, the ones who have been going to work and risking themselves and showing up for work, have really been getting cut out of the discussions here. But here's a quick recap of what Larry Kudlow has been mentioning, and again reiterates this morning as things that are still on the table. A payroll tax holiday, which a lot of us have said, too little, too late for workers and cuts too many people out. But that would come in conjunction with tax deductions or credits for tourism, restaurants, entertainments, and athletic events, maybe liability and insurance protections for COVID-19 cases, and kind of the back to work reward that is some kind of back to work boost if you go back to work. No direct mention there about stimulus checks. The only mention we got of stimulus checks was Larry Kudlow's reference to the Wall Street Journal article, which talked about it. Larry Kudlow also mentioned that the capital gains exclusion is still on the table. If you end up buying something within the next 6 months, you would get some kind of longer term relief. We're not quite sure about what the details are for that yet. And again, these ideas are still up in the air. By the way, if you want to chat with me and it's totally free, I've got a nice group in Discord, a general chat, stock chat, real estate chat, stimulus chat, and you're welcome to join that. The link is down in the description for that. Also, in terms of stocks, Dave & Buster's is down heavily today, so I made sure to pick up some more shares. This is a vaccine stock, though. This is a company that will just continue to acquire debt until the vaccine comes out. So the more time goes by, the more the company will suffer, much like the airlines and the retail stocks and any of the restaurant stocks, really. So if you're interested in a risky bet, but one that could end up being a 3Xer, that is triple your money, who knows? No guarantees, right? But in the long run, next 3 to 4 years, I'm personally bullish on Dave & Buster's. Again, no guarantees. Hey, maybe it'll only double your money. I'm just kidding. You could also lose everything to bankruptcy. Just look at Hertz. Anyway, folks, there you have it. I did execute trades on my Webull app this morning. So remember, get your 2 free stocks with Webull. Use that coupon code down below to join me in the programs linked down below on real estate investing, stocks, money, and the psychology of money. And folks, we will see you next time.